Remarkable acknowledges the traditional custodians of the lands on which we are gathered today. We pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging, for they hold the traditions, the culture, and the hopes of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples across the nation. We acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and the remarkable contribution they make to Australian life. We are better together.
It's here. Welcome to Remarkable Demo Day 2020. On behalf of everyone at Cerebral Palsy Alliance, thank you for joining us. Remarkable's mission is to accelerate technology and innovation to create an inclusive world, and we're excited to introduce the 7 companies we've worked with over the last 16 weeks who are on that same mission.
This event is the culmination of their efforts, their hustle and their sheer grit. They've done hundreds of hours of customer interviews, building, testing, selling, and planning. This has been a monumental effort.
And what you'll see tonight is more than just commitment to an accelerator program. You'll see founders who have grown their vision despite unprecedented headwinds.
Founders who have sold their products despite a global economic downturn. Founders who've built new partnerships despite the uncertainty. These founders have shown their true colours, despite the circumstances we've all found ourselves in throughout 2020.
COVID-19 has challenged our economy, our health, our resolve, and the effects of the pandemic are still being felt. The bushfires have decimated our communities and left an indelible mark on our relationship with our environment.
And global protests have reminded us that our world is not as inclusive as we'd hoped. We'd still need social movements to shift behavioural and systemic failures.
We don't have a fully inclusive world yet, but these startups are creating a world where inclusion is experienced by all.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
We're ready.
Here we go.
Welcome to Remarkable Demo Day 2020. My name's Angel Dixon. I was last year's Young Australian of the Year for Queensland, and I'm an activist for the rights of people with disability, and I'm a big fan of Remarkable. I'll be introducing the 7 startups to you this evening, and we'd like you to join the conversation on social media tonight. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and please use the handle @RemarkableTech and #BeRemarkable and #DisabilityTech. I work in a number of different ways to accelerate the inclusion of people with disability. I do everything from consulting organisations on accessibility of physical and online environments to research into the rights and dignity of people with disability. I also spend a lot of time in the area of media representation through my work at a non-profit called Starting with Julius. We've collaborated with some of Australia's leading brands and media outlets to help them reimagine what their internal practices look like and what external representation looks like in the media and advertising space. Subsequently, I have ended up in a few campaigns myself, and in 2017 I became the first agency-signed model with a physical impairment to be included in a national television campaign here in Australia. To ensure the equal opportunity and participation of people with disability, it's so important that we all have access to the tools and supports that we need to live our lives and achieve our desired outcomes. Technology can be a great enabler or an inhibitor for people with disability. And tonight you'll learn more about 7 startups who are creating enabling technology in innovative ways like never before. They're the top emerging disability tech entrepreneurs in Australia right now. Tonight would not be possible without the generous support of Remarkable's partners, Telstra, Microsoft, and All In, as well as our principal partner, iCare. Here to say a few words on behalf of iCare, I'd like to introduce the Foundation General Manager, Barney Smith.
Thanks, Angel. We at iCare are proud to partner with Remarkable and Cerebral Palsy Alliance. The $1.5 million investment over 3 years allows us to work in partnership to help identify and support early stage startups that have the potential to improve quality of life, stimulate the disability tech sector, and bring truly innovative products and services to market. This investment aligns with our vision to provide best-in-class services to iCare participants, particularly those living with an acquired brain injury or spinal cord injury. As we aspire to be a social insurer that goes beyond insurance and care, it's an honour to work with Remarkable as they support startups to develop their capacity to create real social impact. I'm sure you're all as excited as I am to hear tonight's pitches and see how this startup cohort have progressed throughout the Accelerator program. Enjoy.
We're really proud of the partnerships we have at Cerebral Palsy Alliance, as they are so critical to all the work that we do, and in particular, to the work of Remarkable. Right from the start of our partnership with iCare, there was wonderful alignment of our values and connection to the mission. iCare is an extraordinary organisation, and the success of what you see tonight is in no small part to the support that iCare has given Remarkable. Thank you to all the team at iCare for your ongoing support. Another of the partners who's been here since the start has been Telstra. Jackie Coates is an advocate for technology as a catalyst for positive social change so everyone can connect. She has an award to present as we begin.
Thanks, Rob. Hi everyone, my name's Jackie Coates and I head up the Telstra Foundation. I'm making this video on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and I would like to pay my respects to the first innovators in this country and their elders past, present and future. Well, Telstra Foundation has had a fabulous relationship with the Remarkable team for many years, since it was just an idea scratched on the back of an envelope. And it's great to see that this team hasn't let a global pandemic stop them in their tracks, and they've pulled together a terrific digital demo day for us all today to enjoy. I am here today to announce the winner of the 2020 Telstra People's Choice Award. It's a really simple thing we do at Telstra. It's a little poll, there's only one winner, and we're really sorry that we can't give this $5,000 cash prize to each of you, and that there's only one winner today that we can do this for. So without further ado, I would like to announce the Telstra 2020 People's Choice Award goes to Speechfrog. Congratulations, guys. We'll connect you with your prize soon.
A big congratulations to the winner of the Telstra People's Choice Award. During our first group of startups pitching tonight, we'll hear from experienced founders who have turned their digital product and e-commerce expertise into a home practice platform for speech therapy. We also have a multi-award-winning engineer and designer who, along with his co-founder, is empowering wheelchair users to get outdoors through cutting-edge design. We have a team of entrepreneurs who are led by passion to improve the life of their friend who experienced a life-altering accident. And the fourth is a startup telling new stories about neurodivergent employment, empowering neurodivergent employees and employers alike. Prepare yourselves for 4 incredible pitches.
When Tom was little, he had trouble saying some words. Many people couldn't understand him, so his parents took him to see a speech pathologist. She confirmed that he had a speech sound disorder, a common issue affecting 1 in 5 Australian kids. With therapy sessions only once a fortnight, Tom needed to practice at home regularly in order to make progress. But the activities were boring and repetitive. Tom was frustrated and he often refused to do them. It was the worst part of the day for his mum and dad too. They hated it just as much as he did. But the home practice is critical. Without it, research shows Tom faces bullying in school, falling behind in class, and employment and mental health issues later in life. I'm Carl, one of the co-founders of Speechfrog, a platform that makes speech therapy home practice fun for kids and insightful for speech pathologists. With Speechfrog, kids play fun, speech-promoting games for home practice. Our intelligent AI provides feedback on their speech and allows them to move through levels and earn rewards. It turns tedious practice into engaging play. And while kids are playing, Speechfrog records their speech and shares data back to their speech pathologist. They can see a timeline of their client's home practice, track their progress, and intervene early if needed. By bridging the gap between sessions and increasing client engagement, Speechfrog maximises therapy dosage, which can improve outcomes for kids. To bring Speechfrog to life, we've put together a team of experienced entrepreneurs and clinicians. I've been a special education teacher for almost 20 years and have worked closely with speech pathologists throughout my career. Sophie has a background in project management and expertise in building offshore teams. Together, we've also built a successful e-commerce business with multiple brands across Australia and New Zealand. Chris is our lead speech pathologist with over 20 years of private speech practice. Her expertise has guided the development of our games, ensuring they are clinically sound and best practice. Dan is the techie of the team and has been working around startups for over 10 years. He co-founded CodeCamp and also runs a software consultancy helping social impact businesses build great tech solutions. We entered Remarkable with little more than a proof of concept. In just 16 weeks, we've created a first of its kind home practice platform. Since launching 4 weeks ago, we've welcomed 15 paid subscribers and have another 90 on our free trial that we're aiming to convert in the coming weeks. We're also in discussions with several large organisations, including New South Wales Health and Cerebral Palsy Alliance, about using Speechfrog with their clients. During this time, we've also had interest from groups looking for effective telehealth solutions. As a digital platform, Speechfrog is perfect for telehealth therapy, and the opportunity here is exciting. Speech sound disorders are a global issue. There's over 470,000 kids across Australia that could benefit from a program like Speechfrog. Across the US and UK, there's a further 7 million kids needing speech therapy. We offer a scalable subscription model for speech pathologists, based on the number of clients they service. With 12,000 speech pathologists in Australia and over 160,000 across the US and UK, the market opportunity is significant. We also have many parents asking to purchase Speechfrog for their kids, so we're also working on a standalone model for them. We're aiming to change the world, but to do that, we need your help with these 3 things. Number 1, please follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn. Help spread the word because it's likely that someone in your circle could benefit from using Speechfrog. Number 2, help us increase our reach with warm introductions to contacts at large private clinics or community health providers. Number 3, if you're an impact investor, contact us to receive monthly updates on our progress. We're looking to take on investment at the end of this year to help us rapidly expand into international markets. Together, we can make sure that millions of kids like Tom have a voice. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Ryan. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Geckotrax. We're Australians, which typically means we love the outdoors, whether that be surfing, camping, hiking, you name it. But for 175,000 Australians who use a wheelchair, sometimes these activities are extremely difficult. But globally, there are 75 million people that require the use of a wheelchair, which is 3 times the population of Australia. And for these people, getting outdoors can be really hard. And we want to change that. We want to enable these experiences to happen easily and spontaneously. We want to create a world where everyone, regardless of their ability, are able to get out and explore the great outdoors. So take the Australian beach, for example. This is the very reason that we created Geckotrax in the first place. As a person without a disability, I would see myself running across the sand and diving straight into the water. But if you ask my co-founder Hoy, for example, as a wheelchair user, doing the same thing is almost impossible. The current solutions are bulky and they're expensive. And so we created Geckotrax. Geckotrax is a portable and affordable way for manual wheelchair users to access the beach and other soft off-road terrains independently. They're a set of tyres that retrofit to existing wheelchairs by simply slipping around the on-road tyre. The unique profile actually expands when in contact with the ground, much like a gecko's foot, hence the name, and so it provides increased surface area to stop the wheelchair from sinking and getting bogged. But ultimately, this is about enabling people to spend better time with friends and family outdoors. Our early customers love them. For example, Ashley, who travels a lot, said that Geckotrax has opened up a whole new world for her. We've sold $28,000 worth of product internationally through our online store, and we've got 16 retailers throughout Australia and New Zealand who are ready to stock our product. We're super grateful for all the support we've received to date, including the support from Remarkable. We've also been featured in ABC News, 9 News, and even in the Sydney Morning Herald. But what we're so proud about is the design awards we've won, including the international runner-up of the James Dyson Award. Now, manufacturing and hardware certainly isn't easy, but over the past few months, despite the current global situation, we've been able to set up our own custom manufacturing process. This has been a ton of iteration and testing. But where we've got to is a process that is reliable, it's repeatable, and it gets the quality that we want, all done here in Australia. And the best thing is that we're shipping product now to our retailers and our customers. We're the best team to make this happen. Hoy brings his lived experience as a wheelchair user and an entrepreneur within the disability sector. I'm an industrial designer and mechanical engineer, and so I bring experience with hardware and product development. But really, I just love getting outdoors, and so I want to be using my skills to enable everyone, regardless of their ability, to be able to do the same and enjoy it. We're backed up by Phil Wade, the Chief Marketing Officer at Jetstar, who's an expert in brand building, marketing and e-commerce. And this product is just the start. We've got big plans for a whole range of product that allow the outdoors to be more accessible. And we've got big ambition, and that is to become the global outdoor brand for all abilities. So we need your help. Our next step is to enable children all over the world to have these same outdoor experiences. So we're looking for $150,000 to produce a smaller mould in a children's size and have it ready in time for Christmas. So we're looking for individuals and foundations to help us make this a reality. And finally, help us spread the word. We're ready to build an international presence and be the global outdoor brand for all abilities as we build out our product. And so we need your help. So if this vision resonates with you or you want to know more, please contact us. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Andrew. I'm part of Maslow, and we make it easy for people living with paralysis to manage care and rehab from where it matters most right now, at home. To understand why we started Maslow, we need to introduce you to our friend, Kevin. One morning, Kevin was riding his bike when he slipped, hit his head, and he suffered a traumatic brain injury. He lost movement in his hands and legs, and he spent the next 9 months in rehab hospital trying to learn everything he needed to know to manage his condition for the rest of his life. But when he was discharged, he'd forgotten most of what he learned, and there was no specialist by his bedside to help him back on track, and so he was unsure how to manage his health from home. This made it incredibly difficult to educate his carers around his health needs. It was costly and time-consuming, waiting for specialist appointments, often for basic health queries. And so other complications arose while he was at home, many of which could have been avoided if he and his care team had access to the right information at the right time. We learned that this is a shared experience. 76% of traumatic injury patients feel under-supported after leaving rehab hospital. Like Kevin, 58% will readmit with avoidable complications the first year after discharge. And this ongoing readmission cycle for people with traumatic injuries is costing the Australian healthcare system $11.5 billion per year. Kevin is one of 45,000 people in Australia living with paralysis from a traumatic injury. There are 200,000 more living with paralysis from other conditions such as stroke, multiple sclerosis, and motor neuron disease. And globally, there are more than 100 million living with ongoing care and rehab needs caused by similar conditions. So we formed a team of therapists, product designers, and young people with the lived experience of our user base to address this issue. And we started Maslow. Maslow is a home care and rehab assistant for people with paralysis. Just download Maslow from the App Store, connect to your therapists and carers, and users can independently coordinate their care and rehab from where it matters most, at home. For people living with ongoing care and rehab needs, Maslow is a substantial improvement from the status quo. Instead of being unsure what to do at home, users can access guided care and rehab content from their therapists. Instead of needing to verbally educate large care teams, users can coordinate and educate their carers in a single place around their needs. And instead of needing to wait for specialist appointments to address basic health queries, users can communicate directly with specialists from the comfort of their home. Maslow is sold directly to the user on an annual subscription. Since Maslow supports choice and control, it's subsidised by the user's NDIS budget, so it costs $300 a year to the NDIS and $0 to the user. When we started Remarkable, we had little more than an MVP, and we've since proven that this product and business model works for our customers. We've secured our first 16 paying customers over the last 4 months. We have 4 independent therapists actively referring clients to Maslow, and we're about to start our first paid pilot with a major rehab clinic to roll out Maslow and help them better connect with their clients at home. But for us, The most valuable evidence has been the feedback and stories from our customers. Fifi from Sydney has saved plenty of time using Maslow to educate and manage her care team around her home rehab needs. Robert from Melbourne has saved money by communicating basic queries to his therapist from home and reducing the number of appointments that he needs to go to each week. And Jason from Bega has improved his health by sticking to his respiratory exercises for 8 weeks straight and still going strong using Maslow. Our focus over the next 6 months is to reach 500 more paying customers. We'll be achieving this by ramping up our direct marketing on social media and securing 2 more partnerships with rehab clinics and disability support organisations. At the start of 2021, we'll be seeking a pre-seed investment to expand our reach beyond just traumatic injury to support other condition types. And by 2022, we'll be looking to replicate our business model and impact in international markets. But our short-term goal is to roll out Maslow with 2 more partners. And our ask for those watching at home is to help us reach that goal. We're looking for an introduction to the General Manager of Allied Health at Royal Rehab, Selena Rowe, so that we can use Maslow to ensure a smooth transition home for every single traumatic injury patient. If you're from a disability support organisation or rehab clinic and you want to ensure that your community has the best possible access to rehab and care supports in the home, come and speak to us, visit our website and follow us at Instagram. So together, we can help people with paralysis not just survive, but thrive at the top of Maslow's pyramid.
Last year, I was struggling at work. I couldn't focus and I felt like a failure. When I was diagnosed with ADHD in late 2019, I was relieved, but I had no idea how to explain it to my boss. So I did what everyone does. I went online. What I found was a confusing mess of contradictions, depressing statistics, and misleading information. The resources that I could find were scientific research papers, which were difficult to access and even harder to understand. I felt lost and confused. All I wanted was a helping hand to improve my time at work, like everyone gets at one point or another.
But what if things were different? What if, when Izzy looks online for information to help her at work, the first thing she sees is Neurodiversity Media? She sees an all-in-one hub for resources about neurodiversity in the workplace. She can personalise that information according to her favourite way of consuming such information, like visuals, audio, and video. And she can access resources at any stage of her career, even talk to experts, coaches, and successful neurodiverse professionals. My name is Rachel Worsley.
And I'm Isabel Quigley.
We have experience in legal marketing, so we know how to translate industry jargon into accessible, engaging content. On top of our personal experiences, I have additional experience translating research papers into accessible journalism for doctors.
And my experience in graphic design has given me lots of practice in making resources accessible and engaging. We are not alone. Neurodiverse people face huge barriers to employment, as these stats show. But we argue that these statistics exist because of a lack of understanding about our potential to succeed in the workplace.
That's why we started Neurodiversity Media. At the moment, we make our money as a fee-for-service content marketing agency, supplying written and visual content with businesses who share our interests in promoting neurodiversity in the workplace, such as Ultranauts Testing and Resolution 123. This business model allows us to produce original journalism, such as our NeuroWork newsletter, which translates scientific evidence into practical resources that help people thrive in the workplace. Our newsletter goes out to approximately 450 people all over the world, including senior HR experts from the Tasmanian government and even Google. Now we're ready for our next phase of growth. We've just launched our newest product, the Resource Library. It is based on a Canvas-style freemium model of free and pro memberships. Our free tier provides our core audience of neurodiverse professionals with the accessible information about workplace strategies and tips to thrive in the workplace, with micropayments for resources such as events and webinars. For $99 a year, our pro membership personalizes these resources according to their career development needs, as well as unlocking exclusive networking and upskilling opportunities. But as we all know in our professional lives, success is often a team effort. That's why we also have resources aimed at equipping HR and hiring managers to support neurodivergent professionals to shine. To help us target this audience, we have entered into a content partnership with Exceptional Testing to co-create resources on workplace topics that face autistic professionals. We also have an agreement of ADHD Australia to co-host fact sheets sharing practical strategies for ADHD professionals. Through such collaborations, we can scale our impact across multiple cross-sections of society.
We have started this journey already by showcasing real stories about neurodiverse professionals succeeding at work in our Neurodivergent Women at Work series. From our storytelling, we receive messages like this one, thanking us for providing the most helpful thing I've seen yet. And we model our social impact inside our company. Through Neurodiversity Media, I've been able to realize my own potential, and we want to give that opportunity to others. Now we use the revenue we generate to hire more neurodiverse people in our own company. No one should ever experience the isolation, fear, and stigma that is currently the norm for neurodiverse people at work. It's heartbreaking to hear neurodiverse people tell us over and over that I thought I was the only one, because that's not true. According to pediatric neurologists, at least 1 in 10 children are neurodiverse, and they'll grow up to be neurodiverse adults. Our work to help adults today will empower the next generation tomorrow. So how can you help us? Head to our website at neurodiversitymedia.com and become a member of our resource library today. Become a pro member to unlock the full benefits. Then contact us if you want to help co-create resources or invest in our future growth. Every dollar we make goes back into changing people's lives through accessible information. We know this truth for ourselves, and we want others to access this truth as well. Join our community today.
It is remarkable, pun intended, the progress that these startups have made in such a short period of time. Startup life isn't easy. 2 members of the Remarkable team, Addie Chu and Alan Jones, have worked with hundreds of founders within Remarkable and across other startup accelerator programs. They're going to give us some insights into what this startup journey is like, and in particular, how it's been for the startups in this year's cohort.
An accelerator program is tough enough without a pandemic lockdown. It's a little bit like a reality TV show, in that you're thrown in with a bunch of strangers in an unfamiliar setting, given a series of scary and challenging goals to try and achieve as a team, and it can be quite public. You're expected to share a lot about your progress with the world, when maybe you'd rather just keep your head down. I've loved getting to know each one of the founders and being there with them for some of the lows as well as some of the highs. I'm not doing my job unless a few founders are able to trust me enough to let down their guard and show their emotions when we talk about the hard things. I'm very grateful for their trust, and once that bond is there, we can work together on digging back out of that hole and getting back on track. Hopefully these are friendships we can count on for many years to come.
I've loved hearing the founders look back on their own journey and talk about how much they've learned. In just a few months, we've witnessed a shift in confidence, a clarity in their strategy, and a deepening in their partnership. All amazing. I'd like to thank all the mentors who've played such a vital role in this journey. Alan and I made definite promises at the beginning to not have the answers to all their questions. We've been fortunate to have 50 expert mentors who have collectively spent over 350 hours guiding this cohort to smarter decisions. On behalf of the Remarkable team and all our founders, we thank all of our mentors for encompassing the true meaning of remarkable.
Wow, an intense 16 weeks. What an incredible amount of work has gone into what they are presenting tonight. In our second group of startups pitching tonight, we have a brother and sister duo who have been working across 2 continents to bring an exciting product to the market. We also have an internationally recognised occupational therapist who's transforming the lives of children with cerebral palsy. And our final pitch will be from a team of doctors and PhD students who are on a mission to prevent death and impairment in newborn babies.
Hi, I'm Heather Morrison, co-founder and CEO of Handy, and we're on a mission to put pleasure within reach. Sexual health is a human right as declared by the World Health Organization, but it's one that's literally out of reach for hundreds of millions of disabled people worldwide. This is my co-founder and disabled brother, Andrew Gurza. He's going to tell you a little bit more about what that feels like.
Hi there, I'm Andrew Gurza, Chief Disability Officer at Handy and a disabled man. Due to the way my hands work, as a result of disability, I've lost the ability to self-pleasure. This has been a huge loss for me. It feels like I lost a sense of my manhood and my masculinity, and to be honest, that sucks. Unfortunately, none of the current sex toys on the market have considered the needs of people with hand limitations, which leaves us frustrated and unable to tap into a core part of our humanity.
And this inability doesn't just rob Andrew of his basic human right, it also negatively impacts his physical health, his mental health, and his sense of identity, because orgasms have a ton of extra health benefits. They do things like boost your immune system, lower stress, and allow you to truly and deeply understand your body and yourself. But we at Handy believe that everybody should be able to get off, regardless of their ability. So we're creating the first line of sex toys that don't rely on the use of your hands. Introducing the Cuddle Plus, the first sex toy designed for disabled people. And there are a number of reasons why we've chosen to take this design to market. First, its vibrational middle section allows us to be fit for both genders with one design. Its chin control means that control is always within reach. It's flexible and versatile for different positions, body types, and abilities. And it's huggable to increase intimacy and comfort. And we weren't the only ones who really loved this design. When we tested it with our disabled community and our occupational therapists, we heard things like, when I saw this design, my jaw hit the floor, and oh my God, I've never seen anything like it. This will totally change my life. We are a brother and sister team tackling sexual inclusion. Andrew brings his lived experience, but also almost a decade as a sex and disability activist. And I bring over a decade in brand strategy and innovation strategy. We're joined by an amazing design team at RMIT University full of sexual health, design, and innovation experts. And we've been really busy over the last 16 weeks of the Remarkable program. We launched our brand just 6 weeks ago, and we've already seen press coverage from over 15 outlets around the world. We've been working on partnerships with Love Honey and Hot Octopus, two of the biggest brands in the industry. We've received over 350 registers of interest for our product, and we've been busy busting taboos and increasing our community of supporters around the world. And we're super excited for what comes next. We'll be prototyping the Cuddle Plus and testing it with our audience. We'll be building out our team, and we're aiming to hit shelves and laps in May 2021, with pre-sales starting just next month. You might be thinking this is a little bit niche, but I'm here to tell you it's actually a huge opportunity. Because if there are a minimum of 500 million people with hand limitations around the world when you factor in the disabled community, but also the aging population, if we can hit just 1% of market penetration, we'll be netting $1 billion in annual revenue. $1 billion. But we can't do it alone. We definitely need your help. We need help connecting with people like industrial designers and engineers, and also distribution leads like occupational therapists. And we also need your help from an investment point of view. We're looking to raise $500,000 to help with our product development and also to help build out our team over the next 12 to 18 months. So if you believe in everyone's human right to fulfill that deeply personal part of themselves, please join us in putting pleasure within reach.
Hi, I'm Associate Professor Brian Hoare, occupational therapist and founder of CP Toys. Over the last 20 years, it's been my mission in life to improve the lifelong outcomes of children with cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is caused by damage to the brain in early life and affects over 17 million people worldwide. It affects everything from how a person moves, to how they think, to how they act. This is Emma. Emma has cerebral palsy. While she was living in London, at age 13 months, Emma had a catastrophic stroke. Over the next 2 years, she had over 54 weeks of therapy. So let's take a look. Sadly, after all this therapy, Emma still avoids using her hand. She tries to grasp, but can't. She ends up using her mouth. In the long term, this means that Emma will struggle to do the things that she needs to do, like getting dressed or holding onto her scooter. She will always need help. After 54 weeks of therapy, is this disappointing? Absolutely. This is Emma after 16 weeks of therapy that's based on science. She knows how to use her hand. She can grasp and stabilise, and most importantly, she can hold onto her scooter. While this may mean a small change now, Emma is on the path to independence at home and at school, and has the ability to be able to reach her full potential. So what's the difference? As you can see, it's not just about doing therapy, it's about doing therapy the right way. This means choosing an intervention that's based on science, setting clear goals, finding toys that are carefully matched to these goals, and lots of practice. CP Toys is an online portal built for therapists and parents that matches a child's individual goals to fun and motivating toys. It's not a replacement for therapy. It's a tool that ensures therapy is done the right way. You simply enter a child's details, including their specific goals, and CP Toys then generates a list of fun and motivating toys that are matched to these goals. Therapists and families can also access the toys directly from our portal, saving huge amounts of time. CP Toys is now an income-generating company via a SaaS and affiliate marketing model. Since launching in June, we have over 110 subscribers across the globe. There are massive opportunities for growth for CP Toys, including tapping into physiotherapy by expanding the portal to include gross motor goals, creating a gift register or toy bundles, and directly distributing toys from our catalogue. At CP Toys, we strongly believe it's the right of every child and family to have access to essential toys for therapy. To do this, we plan to build CP Toy Swap, the first global online library for gifting or swapping therapy toys. This will save a huge amount of time and money for families and also create a circular economy to keep toys out of landfill. We would like you to be a part of the future of CP Toys. If you have experience or networks in product distribution, we would love to hear from you. We are also currently seeking partners to contribute $100,000 to build CP Toy Swap. If you would like to ensure that every child has access to essential therapy toys, please get in touch. I'm Associate Professor Brian Hoare. I look forward to hearing from you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Tracy, a newborn intensive care specialist with 30 years of experience and a co-founder of Resuscitate. We have developed a cutting-edge monitor to help prevent death and disability from newborn resuscitation. This really matters to me because I still vividly recall one of the first babies I helped to resuscitate, a very preterm baby called David. He needed our help to start breathing. David survived, but like many preterm infants, he was left with cerebral palsy, a lifelong disability. What was missing that day in the delivery room and is still missing today was a simple way to measure mask leak and the size of each tiny breath we gave. Every year around the world, 10 million babies require our help to breathe. A million of these babies are left with a lifelong disability. Incredibly, most of these disabilities could be prevented with better resuscitation. At Resuscitate, our mission is to take the uncertainty and the stress out of the resuscitation. To do this, there are two key areas that we must address. The first is education. Currently, 45,000 clinicians in Australia are trained and annually accredited to resuscitate. They do this on mannequins, but without any measurement to indicate they're doing it correctly. The second is to optimise infant resuscitation. In the resuscitation, you have only 60 seconds to get it right. Just a few wrong breaths can have dire consequences. We've developed a monitor to address both of these issues. Existing monitors are only used in research settings, and they look like this. This is our monitor. It delivers real-time critical information on the correct position of the mask and the volume of each breath. It's intuitive to use and fits on existing equipment. It's portable, lightweight, and designed to be quickly deployed by first responders. It will cost a fraction of existing equipment. We're a team of experienced neonatologists, midwives, and engineers. Our unit is a global authority on neonatal medicine. Our collective expertise positions us uniquely to solve this issue. Resuscitate has garnered support from the CSIRO, the Cerebral Palsy Alliance, and the Remarkable Accelerator. Our team has done extensive interviews with more than 100 stakeholders and surveyed more than 250 clinicians over 38 countries to optimise the monitor for their needs. We've partnered with 4 of the largest teaching hospitals in the country: Westmead, the Royal Hospital for Women, the Liverpool Hospital, and Westmead Children's Hospital. They see the huge potential benefit in our monitor and will be reference sites as we expand across Australia. We will be ready to launch our educational monitor in less than a year, ensuring clinicians are getting trained on our device while we get TGA certified. This will lead to accelerated market adoption of the clinical device, which will be ready to launch in less than 3 years. So how can you help? We're opening a seed round of $250,000 to get us into the educational market, so please get in touch for more information. If you have contacts in the healthcare industry or distribution channels in the US, we'd be keen to be put in contact. Please join us in our journey by going to our website and signing up with a contact list. Effective resuscitation is a global problem and demands a global solution. Cerebral palsy caused by birth asphyxia costs the Australian Society $200 million a year and in the US $1.6 billion. And this is only one of the many costly outcomes. A resuscitate monitor should be available for every birth, in the delivery room, at home, and on the belt of every paramedic. From their first few breaths, please help us change the course of babies' lives and ensure what happened to David does not happen to anyone else.
What a spectacular group of startups we've had present tonight. I'm sure you'll all agree. They did a wonderful job and are collectively making a significant impact on our world. Tonight's not just about entertainment. We can all help amplify the work that these entrepreneurs do. Very shortly, you will be directed to our virtual booths to meet those founders. But just before we do that, a couple of important announcements of what's on the horizon for Remarkable.
Thanks, Angel. A number of you watching tonight may have your own startup brewing. If you're ready to take the next step in problem solving for the disability and ageing space, we'd love to support your journey. We've opened expressions of interest with details on our website. Secondly, in August we'll be launching Remarkable Insights. Remarkable Insights will encompass conversations that promote brave new perspectives, labs that encourage entrepreneurial experimentation, and product reviews to accelerate the disability tech sector and more. Lastly, I'd love to invite engineers, product designers, makers, creators, inventors, and students to all apply to come to be part of our upcoming Remarkable Designathon, taking place in October this year. There'll be prizes on offer for teams who can help solve one of 3 problems that have been identified. More information of all of these things will be shared with you tomorrow. Make sure you check your inbox.